Okay.
Welcome to the Love of Dunbar Collective, and where we have Mitch Capel. I'm so glad you all could come. Mitch Capel also performs as Granddaddy Junebug in his children's programs. Mitch is a professional storyteller, recording artist, published author, and poet. He first began writing and performing skits at the age of 12 and has delighted audiences throughout the U.S. with his warmth, wit, and compelling storytelling style since 1985. Mitch is hailed as the national interpreter on the works of poet laureate Paul Laurence Dunbar. Mitch has regaled as a featured MC and humorist as venues across the country, including the Disabled Black History Museum, the Kennedy Center, the Smithsonian Folk Life Festival, and at the presidential inauguration of Barack Obama. Oh, we welcome Mitch to the Love of Dunbar. Hey, Mitch, how are you?
Great, honey. How are you?
I'm good. It's so nice you're here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, it's our pleasure. So, Mitch, like I said, you should have been with us, what, 4 years ago?
Oh, you guys, I tell you what, y'all hold it down. Y'all been holding it down. Y'all
We've
didn't
been
need
holding
me.
it down. Yeah,
Y'all didn't need me.
we've been holding it down. No, well, we miss you. I needed you because you know so much about Dunbar. Next to Laverne Ski, who was the
Yes,
director of the Dunbar House, I
yes.
consider you as knowledgeable as Miss Laverne Ski on Paul Laurence Dunbar. So no, I don't have any deep questions prepared to ask, but we have our friends here from the Love of Dunbar, and they might want to ask you some questions. So if you do, just raise your hand. And Mitch, did you want to tell us anything before we started? Maybe speak on Dunbar?
Um, well, I'll tell you how I was introduced to Paul Laurence Dunbar by my grandmother, Elnora Leek Capel, my father's mother. Every time I would visit her and spend the weekend with her, um, my brother and I, my older brother Jeff and I, she would pull out the life and works of Paul Laurence Dunbar, and she would read a story. She would read a cabin tale to us every time, and it was a lot because my father started selling cookware in 1958 and got real good at it. Was breaking international sales records, so he was always going to conventions and things. So the fact that she could read, number one, and the fact that she could read the dialect, number two. You know, a cabin tale is about the weasel and the bear, and the fact that she could read the dialect, it just I still see her giggling and laughing and adjusting her glasses and reading that story to me. I'm 3, 4, 5 years old. I'm a little child, and when I finished college, my father handed me the book. In fact, I have it here with me. I made this cover. This book had no cover. This is how I received this book. I made the cover. I mean, this was the most loved book I had ever seen in my life. So this was the book that my ancestors had. This was the book that my grandmother used. Uh-oh, this was the book my great grandfather used because this was the source of entertainment. So the reason it was all torn apart was because if they had to go do read some Dunbar somewhere, there was no Xerox machines. They just tore the page out and took it and read, and sometimes it never made it back to the book. So I put the book back together, and my father gave me this book, and I'm reading it. I'm in my 20s now, and uh, I started reading this book at 24, 25, 26, somewhere in there. And I read that poem, The Cabin Tale, and I went, oh, where do I know this? This is ringing a big bell for me. And so I started reading it. I had two sons, young sons at the time. I started reading it to them. And it was like, oh, this is the story my grandmother read to me. So I started reading it to them every night, and they want to hear it every night. And so I memorized it, told a friend, and he said, "Man, I'm head of the entertainment committee for this banquet Friday night. I can't get anybody. Will you come and tell that story?" And I'm like, "What?" And I did. And there were teachers already saying, "Well, I'm coming to the school," and it snowballed. My goal was to memorize all of Dunbar's work. And I have to back up and say, when my father gave me this book, I carried it with me for 7 years. I couldn't put it down. I mean, I just fell in love with his work. I fell in love with his story. I would read anybody that would listen, that I could sit down long enough to say, "Hey, check this one out." And I had a friend of mine that was we were selling cars, and a lot half the times we're sitting in a car in the parking lot, and I'm reading Dunbar to him, and he's just laughing. He loved it. I mean, I had some people say, "Man, what are you doing with that? That ain't gonna make you no money," trying to be negative about it. But this brother was very encouraging. My family encouraged me, so that's how I got started, and it's been a wonderful journey. So thanks to my grandmother, Eleanor Lee Capel, who's planted that seed in me at a very tender age. And it went full circle because when she was in assisted living, when my parents could no longer care for her in our home, I went to see her, and she had developed Alzheimer's. And I would go sit down with her, and she would stare into space, and I would start out. Once there was this big, big bear used to live around here somewhere in a cave, and eyes would light up and say, "He was so big he could carry off a pig." I let her go as far as she could go with it. And when she stumbled, I'd pick it up and run with it. And so we just ran with it all the way through the story. And when I finished, she looked at me and said, "Boy, you remember that poem?" You remember that story? And I said, "Yeah, Ma, I did." So it went full circle. I get to tell it to her. And they say once a man, twice a child. So when she turned back into her childhood. So
That's a wonderful story. Can you fix your picture on Dunbar? It's a little flash shining. I don't
yeah,
know.
that's the light. I don't know why.
Oh,
I think it's the spirits.
okay.
I
All
think
right.
it's the spirit. I don't know. It's probably the light. I don't know.
Okay. I just
Is
wanted
it
you to
that? Oh,
know.
look at that. That is
I
a
didn't,
spirit.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
spirit.
I didn't want you to say anything. Why did you tell me that light was like that? I
No,
wanted to let you
I
know.
think it's a
Okay.
spirit.
Yeah. Well, spirit moves us all.
Dunbar's here. He's with me.
Yeah, I know. And we have really enjoyed all your presentations on his work. Does anyone have a favorite, or anyone want to ask Mitch any question about his process and how he developed into being the national interpreter of Dunbar's work? I mean, when you go to Paul Dunbar House, the Dunbar House in Dayton, Ohio, Mitch's voice is the voice you hear on the kiosks. It's sort of changed over the years, but when they first had the kiosk where you could hit a button and hear his poetry, it
Mhm.
was Mitch, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, it's at the actually it's at the Wright Dunbar Interpretive Center,
Uh-huh.
not at the Dunbar House. I think they do have some stuff at the Dunbar House, though.
You
I take
do
that
have,
back.
I heard it at the Dunbar House at
Yeah,
first.
yeah. And there's a film on him at the Wright Dunbar Interpretive Center, and Mrs. Ski and the group there hired an actor from New York who really looked like Dunbar, and he they had to redid the film, but every time he opened his mouth, it was my voice that came out. Miss Ski, bless her heart, she just wanted me to be the voice of Dunbar. So yeah.
So tell me, besides the book that your grandmother gave you as a child that you read, when you got to know the artist, when you got to know the poet, what drew you to him besides his work?
What drew me to him beside his work was the fact his life story and his mother's story and how she taught herself to read and write and how she was determined to make sure he had a good education. He graduated in 1891 from an all-white school. He integrated that school. She was determined that he was going to, because he was a genius, there's no other way. And so the fact that he wrote as many poems and books and novels that he did in his short span of 33 years, 7 months, and 13 days, uh, that he did all of that. But what really uh, solidified it for me was when I read about how he had been invited to recite at the West End Club, and I think it was in Toledo. And when the gentleman invited him, and there was a gentleman there who got up before Dunbar, who had just traveled throughout the South, and he was doing a speech about the Negro in the South, and he was saying how lazy and shiftless and no count we were, and we're never going to amount to anything, and just degraded us. You know how they talk about us when we're there. Imagine how they talk about us when we ain't there. So when he didn't know Dunbar was there. And so when they said we're going to have Dunbar come up and do some of his poetry, Paul got up and said, "I'm going to give you one poem I had not intended." And he gave him an Ode to Ethiopia. And they said it was like a lawyer defending his client. And the fact that he was so courageous to do that, being the only African American there, and could have easily been lynched that night, could have easily left that place and been killed for defending his people. And that's when I said, man, that's my dude. I mean, young man like that, courage like that, brilliance.
Mitch, do you know when that happened? What year was that?
Uh, I think it was he was I can't pinpoint it, but I know it was I think it was Mr. W.C. Chapman that invited him, and it was in Toledo, Ohio. So it's in his life and works.
Do you think
Uh,
it was after his visit to the World's Fair?
the World Columbian Exhibition with Frederick Douglass.
Yeah.
It was before,
I
long
think it,
before.
I think it was before as well. It was right after it was before because this was right after he had given the speech at the Western Writers Association at the Callahan Building
Okay.
when he
Okay.
was an elevator operator, and that's when all these people started noticing him. So and that's
Oh.
inviting him to speak. He hadn't gotten national fame yet, I don't
Okay.
think. But from being on the elevator is when somebody said, "Look, who's this guy? We got to publish him." And so
He
and
was he was quite young. He was still in his teen.
yeah, so
Would you like to share that poem with us?
I have my favorite
Oh,
black Oak and Ivy. That's Oak and Ivy. This is the crown jewel of Dunbar's books. There
you're
were only
showing off now. I only have a second edition. That's the first.
Yeah, but if you have any edition, because he only made 500 copies and 250 were
No,
done.
no, I don't even have that.
This is the first. This is the first one.
I
So
have second editions of his other books.
behind me are all his first editions.
Wow.
I've got everything except majors and minors.
Mm.
But yeah. So
So would you like to share that poem with us?
and
OD
old
Ethiopia?
Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Sure. So I got up and said, "O mother race, to thee I bring this pledge of faith, unwavering, this tribute to thy glory. I know the pangs which thou didst feel when slavery crushed thee with its heel, with thy dear blood all gory. Sad days were those, ah, sad indeed. But through the land the fruitful seed of better times was growing. The plant of freedom upward sprung and spread its leaves so fresh and young, its blossoms now are blowing. On every hand in this fair land, proud Ethiopia's swarthy children stand beside their fairer neighbors. The forests flee before their stroke. Their hammers ring, their forges smoke, they stir in honest labor. They tread the fields where honor calls. Their voices sound through Senate halls in majesty and power. To right they cling, the hymns they sing up to the skies in beauty ring, and bolder grow each hour. Be proud, my race, in mind and soul. Thy name is writ on glory scrolled in characters of fire. High mid the clouds of fame's bright sky, thy banners blazoned foes now fly, and truth shall lift them higher. Thou hast the right to noble pride, whose spotless robes were purified by blood severe baptism. Upon thy brow the cross was laid, and labor's painful sweat beads made a consecrating chrism. No other race, or white or black, when bound as thou were to the rack, so seldom stooped to grieving. No other race, when free again, forgot the past and proved them men so noble in forgiving. Go on and up. Our souls and our eyes shall follow thy continuous rise. Thy ears shall list thy story from bards who from thy root shall spring and proudly tune their lyres to sing of Ethiopia's glory.
Thank you, Mitch. That was
Well,
beautiful.
and
Thank
then
you.
he walked out.
That was powerful. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's how that's done.
That's how
How
it was.
you doing, Mitch? Mama and Zinga.
Hey, Mom and Zinga.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, sister. How you?
I'm being blessed to be alive.
I know that's right.
Keep it moving.
Anybody got any questions for me?
What year was that?
I in the chat.
What year was that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you wanted me to say it.
Well,
Oh,
you
did
you
somebody
can.
find out?
If you raise your hand, I can see you because you didn't respond.
I will.
Is that Pam?
I
Library.
Who wanted to ask a question? If you raise your virtual hand, then I can see that you're speaking.
I think that Anthony, I don't know whether he on, can he
Anthony
be seen?
McCauley. Yes,
My
I
man.
see
He
the
put a
chat.
question in the chat.
Yeah, I see the chat. It says, "How do you interpret 'We Wear the Mask' in today's context?"
How do I interpret it?
Well, you do have your own twist on that. We had the
Yeah.
pleasure of hearing. Yes.
Yeah.
And Dunbar appeared at the West End Club in spring of 1893.
Thank you.
That's our mathematics sister there, Betty.
There you go. Thank you. 1893.
Yes, thank you, Betty. So
Wow.
Anthony
21.
asked, and we're glad you're here too, Anthony. Thank you for coming. So, but I heard another verse, Pamela, and then we'll address the "We Wear the Mask." Pamela.
That was my question. He answered it. I want to say he made it out of town after doing that.
Yes.
Then,
Yeah. He made
no,
it.
I'm serious. I've heard you said when you first said that. I hear you now.
Yeah. Yeah. He was in Toledo, Ohio, and he left there and went to back to Dayton.
Wow.
Imagine horse and buggy.
Absolutely. Wow.
Mm,
Wow.
yeah.
So, Oliver.
Oni, thank you. This is Oliver from Southern Pines, and Mitch knows that my favorite Dunbar poem is the Warrior Prayer.
Right.
But Oni, this website, the Paul Laurence Dunbar.org site, thanks for sharing that, because as this conversation has been going on, I've explored some of the other poems, and two jumped out at me. One is for Theodore Roosevelt. The other one is titled Weltschmerz, which is German translation for world pain. So I was going to ask Mitch if he could share any thoughts with us on either Theodore Roosevelt and his impact on Dunbar, or the story behind Weltschmerz. And I'll pause there. And thanks again for Mitch for being here, and Oni for putting this together.
Thank you.
Well, those are two that I'm slightly familiar with. I know he rode in the parade for William McKinley presidential inauguration, and I'm not sure of his relationship with Theodore Roosevelt. I think it was we have historians on here that could probably I haven't delved into that, but I think I think Theodore Roosevelt was a fan of his, and maybe he wrote a poem for him. I'm not sure. I would guess he did. And as far as the other one, now you're going to have me looking that one up because that's very timely even today. So I think we probably need to look that one up and add that to our repertoire and conversation. Sorry,
Thanks,
all.
Mitch.
Sorry, man.
Well,
Oh,
I'm not quite. You want to go there now? We can go there.
It's up to you.
We can go there. I can split the screen and we can go there. While we do that, did you want to address the other question in the chat?
We wear the mask.
Yes. And I'm gonna share the screen. Hold on,
I'll
let me bring
do,
up the.
I'll do we wear the mask. I know that one.
So how do you, the question was, are you still reading it, Ashabi? Because I'm going to share the screen as soon as I get the website up, and we're going to look up those two poems, because that's that German piece, we've never really looked into it before, be quite honest.
Well, I know he had another German piece about
Lager beer.
lager beer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a favorite of ours.
is it?
Yeah. Patter Murphy does it. Patter Murphy put that on his YouTube channel, Lager beer. Yeah, it's a funny one.
It's a funny one. Yeah.
Yeah. Very stereotypical, but very humorous. So I'm sure the German community didn't mind.
So which
When
poem
he
we
wrote
looking
that
up?
one. Yeah, so I'm going to look it up, but I'm going to share the screen. We had a question though, Mitch, in the chat that
What
someone
was
asked
Anthony
Anthony.
McCauley?
Yes, he said, "How do you interpret 'We Wear the Mask' in today's context?"
Uh, well, it could be interpreted a lot of ways. We've always wore the mask. We have to wear a mask. We put on a mask at work. You know, we have to put on a mask whenever we're in certain company and not be ourselves. Um, we have to wear a mask, and it looks like our politicians right now are wearing masks. They're not. They're grinning and skinning. They're saying one thing behind closed doors, but I don't want to get into politics. But anyway, you know, when COVID was out, I rewrote it that we wear our masks to protect lives. It blocks the contagions, and anyway, I just rewrote it that we wear the mask. That's the first thing I thought of when we were all being masked up.
I love that you did that, and I think it really shows what how you can connect Dunbar's poetry to today's. Do you
Mhm.
remember the poem? Can you share it with us? Because not only
That's
that,
what I'm
not only we
saying.
wear the mask, but even in schools, the children study cage bird sympathy. I
Mhm.
know what the cage bird feels, and they're
Mhm.
often asked to write how they feel about how they feel. Do they feel in their lives they're cage birds? I know I've done it in my workshops.
Mhm.
So I loved. Do you remember that we wear the mask that you wrote during COVID?
I don't. It's actually on my phone, and I'm using my phone to
Okay.
I'm using my phone to do this. If I'd used my iPad, I could have done it. Um, yeah, I can't. I don't know. I haven't done it in years. It's something we wear the mask that protects. I don't even want to start, but I can do Dunbar's version.
No, you can. You can't do your own, but you can.
I can do Dunbar's.
No, that's right. Okay. Let's hear it. Why not?
All right, and this my version I learned from Dr. Maya Angelou. This is how she did it. We wear the mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile. With torn and bleeding hearts, we smile and mouth with myriad subtleties. Why should the world be overwise in counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. We smile. But oh, great cries, our cries to thee from tortured souls arise. We sing, lift every voice and sing, through earth and heaven ring. But oh, the clay is vile beneath our feet and long the mile. But let the world dream otherwise. We wear the mask. Yeah.
Indeed.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mitch. Well, I'm sharing the screen and we're going to go. We got some applause from Betty. And we're going to look at the piece. What is the name of that piece, that German piece your neighbor brought to our attention?
What was
So
that?
Weltschmerz, Welt.
I remember seeing that.
Hmm. So this is what we enjoy doing every Friday, just discovering Dunbar and exploring and having a wonderful adventure in his work. It takes us so many places. So as it showed here, it gives you the everyone can see the screen is split.
You got it up there? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, it shows you the topic is sadness, death, autumn, nature, grief.
So in the life and works, if I may interrupt,
Mhm.
there's a foreword to it.
Okay.
It says the poet once told this author that he wrote the poem Welshmirtz not long before his great sorrow came into his life, and in anticipated comradeship, he could sympathize with the falling leaf, the bare tree, the bird leaving her windswept nest, and with those who had lost friends. His sorrow was to be greater than death, a living grief and ever present remorse. Foreknowing is one of the gifts of the poetic mind, and a poet is no more philosopher than prophet or seer. Many times a beautiful concept will take possession of the mind only to be later verified in actual happenings. Every picture of Dunbar's Welshmirtz, I guess, was afterwards painted on the canvas of Dunbar's own experience. Did not the falling leaf and the bare tree antitype his deserted hearthstone, the windswept nest, his home after the fires of anger had burned out and the two human singers who had sung there had flown to other climes? Were not his unbidden tears at the sight of a passing hearse bearing a child to the cemetery forewarnings of the time when he would come to feel, as he did, his brother poet Riley upon the death of a friend's baby? Oh, how much sadder I would have no child to die. That's the forward.
Wow.
Who would like
That
to
was
read it? Mitch, you would like to
What
read
book are
it?
you bringing that from, Mitch?
It's from the Life and Works. This is how the book looked when
Before before it was yellow,
my ancestors got it, and
right?
this is how it looked after they got a hold to it. Okay, all right. So and so one might follow the poem through, and at the end decide that it proved a flawless prophecy. So there was more. Okay. You ask why I am sad today. I have no cares, no griefs. You say. Ah, yes, 'tis true, I have no grief, but is there not the falling leaf? The bare tree there is mourning left, with all of autumn's gray bereft. It is not what has happened me. Think of the bare, dismantled tree. The birds go south along the sky. I hear their lingering, long goodbye. Who goes reluctant from my breast, and yet the lone and windswept nest? The morning pale flowered hearse goes by. Why does a tear come to my eye? Is it the March rain blowing wild? I have no dead. I have no child. I am no widow by the bier of him I held supremely dear. I have not seen the choicest one sink down as sinks the westering sun. Faith unto faith have I beheld. For me, few solemn notes have swelled. Love beckoned me out to the dawn, and happily I followed on. And yet my heart goes out to them whose sorrow is their diadem. The falling leaf, the crying bird, the voice to be all lost, unheard. Not mine, not mine, and yet too much the thrilling power of human touch. While all the world looks on and scorns, I wear another's crown of thorns. Count me a priest who understands the glorious pain of nail-pierced hands. Count me a comrade of the thief, hot driven into late belief. Oh, mother's tear. Oh, father's sigh. Oh, morning sweetheart's last goodbye. I yet have known no morning save beside some brother's grave. Wow. Mm,
Mm-hmm.
mm.
Deep stuff. Deep.
All right.
And what does the title mean in German, your friend?
so in German, it translates to world pain.
Mm.
And yeah, that is deep. I apologize for asking a question that kind of pulled us down. And as I think about the overview that, the background that Mitch gave, and then the poem that he recited, as deep as that is, I'm still lifted by Donna Marie's concert recital before. And so, I've got both sides, the strong joy and then the deep grief. So, Mitch, thank you for that.
Thanks for the question, Oliver.
And
Thank
Oliver,
you.
to me, this
And
is Betty, to me, that is one of the beautiful things about Dunbar, that he can take you to all of those levels of emotion.
Level. Yes.
yes,
So let me say something right quick about Oliver and Danielle. Oliver, I think I met him. I moved in this neighborhood 12 years ago. I think Oliver moved in this neighborhood probably 4 or 5 years ago. I'm guessing, right, Oliver?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, we got to know each other. When you meet good people, you know good people when you see them, and they're just good people. And so we're talking, and I told him I was a storyteller. The first thing out of his mouth was, "Do I know Dylan Pritchett?" Are you kidding me right now?
oh,
So yeah, so we bonded on.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Dylan was as our NABS director.
yeah.
Was he just passed away? So that, and then he loved Dunbar. He loved, he found out I did Dunbar, and his favorite poem was the Warrior's Prayer. And he just retired from service and stuff, and went to his retirement, and just so we're connected in two ways with Dunbar and Dylan Pritchett. So I just want to throw that out.
Well, you've piqued our interest in the warrior's prayer. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But
Yeah.
that's how we
Let's let
flow.
let's let Oliver read that one.
Okay, that's how we flow. Okay, you really piqued our interest in the
And
warrior's
I
prayer.
memorized it. I memorized it just for Oliver too, by the
Did
way.
you?
Yeah.
Oh,
But I'm gonna let Oliver do it.
And we had
okay. So,
Nasheed do it for us. Nasheed did it.
oh, that's right. He
Yeah.
did. Oh, yes, he did it for Juneteenth, Betty.
No,
I think was it the Juneteenth program? He
or
did.
was it
We did.
the last program?
No,
I think it was the
no,
last.
it wasn't the Juneteenth.
No, it wasn't.
When was it then?
It was the one where we did the poem about the baby that died.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
It's
dawn
gonna
to
be a
dawn,
green
dawn to
Christmas.
dawn,
Dawn to dawn.
dawn to
And,
dawn.
tell Mitch about that, Betty. That program.
So
Oops.
I did. I put together. Well, in recognizing that Dunbar was able to go through all of our emotions, and he was able to write poems that reflected upon all of the stages of life, I pulled together poetry that he had done and was able to put together a program, Dawn to Dawn, that showed life continues. And it starts with his short poem, Dawn, and then we go into birth and childhood and the angst of leaving home and learning your way in the world, finding your way in the world, and getting married and having children and facing heartbreak and finding out that friends and family and God are all important to getting old, and seeing your children do it all again and recognizing life goes on dawn to dawn.
I love it.
It was pretty good. It was
Mm-hmm. It was excellent.
It's on our YouTube channel.
So he has poetry for every occasion. I mean, I did a series of Christmas cards based on his Christmas poetry. And that was back in the 80s. And I remember I went and had them done, and I used the actual photos from the life and works from the Hampton Institute photography class back then. And I was sending out the Christmas cards. I sent one. My niece called me and she said, "Shop Mitch, I got your Christmas cards." She said, "But I got a headache trying to read it because it's a dialect, a little Christmas basket." So that's when I realized I needed to make a dialectionary. So I started taking all of his dialect words and translating them. And I just finished it. And I told somebody, they said, "You wasted your time." I said, "Why?" Go to AI. With the AI, 2 seconds. All of his dialect was translated just like that.
Mm.
It took me
Well, Mitch,
years. Anyway.
I send out poems with Dunbar's works in it as well. And what I learned to do is to record it, create a QR code, put that on the back of the card so that person can hear it, and read it at the same time. And then
That's
everyone
smart.
said that, oh, that's really great. So
That's
that's an
brilliant.
idea for you.
That's brilliant.
And
Yeah.
you're going to send us all one of those cards, right, Betty?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say Mitch. I was gonna say, Lord, don't have me digging around for those cards. um,
That's a great idea.
yeah, I mean, and they're still pertinent today. I mean, a little Christmas basket. That was
Oh,
that was my dad's favorite. A little
that's my
Christmas.
favorite too.
Yeah, that one
Yeah,
and speaking of Christmas,
yeah,
I love doing that one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Bring a
great.
little Christmas basket to the dough.
I'm just
Talk
Yes.
going to
all you
add that
want.
the card that I sent out that got the most was advice. Like
Mhm.
take some time for yourself. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
for me, Dunbar's theater. When I learned Dunbar, I learned it from a theater. The sadness, like Oliver was saying, to go from the sadness to the happiness. That's the logo for theater.
That's theater. Make
Right,
them
it's
laugh.
theater.
No, you make them laugh, make them cry, make them
That's
laugh.
it.
That's
And
theater.
he and Dunbar, I see him in so many different ways theatrically. And there's so many works. My spelling bee, a friend of ours, she came on last week. Joyce Barnes out of Dayton, Ohio, did the
Mhm,
spelling bee, a
mhm,
full-fledged theater production of the spelling bee. And you've
mhm.
even done some work. What did you do with that gentleman I saw at NABS in Philadelphia?
Oh, we did the Colored Soldiers
Yes.
with Sonny Kelly. Yeah, I was doing it as a one man show, but he and I were in a play years ago, To Kill a Mockingbird, and he was a young man at the time, and I'm really particular about who I suggest to do Dunbar but he had the talent and the skills, and went to Stanford, and him and what's his name were roommates there. The guy, big TV star. Anyway, I knew he could handle it, and he did. So he and I played off each other doing Civil War, and we did. Rex Ellis allowed me to use his Williams Carney piece, and we added stuff onto that. So it was mostly Dunbar, probably 90% Dunbar, but I think that one piece was William Carney, which is a long. It's about a 90-minute show. But we
Where
were
did you
touring it.
present
We were
it? Was
touring it before.
Philadelphia, was that the only place you had presented it?
Oh no, we were touring it. We were
You
all
were
over.
touring it, right?
We were
Okay,
we were in Florida. We were going all over.
right.
We were hitting college campuses with it right before COVID, and then when COVID hit, it kind of everything shut down.
Yeah.
But he's doing it now. He's doing a lot of Dunbar, and his kids are doing stuff now. He named his children Sterling and Langston. So Sterling K. Brown and Langston Hughes. He named his kids after them. So, but Sterling K. Brown, Sterling Brown, but Sterling K. Brown is the actor who they went to college together. So,
Right, yeah.
but
Anyone
anyway,
else have any input? Want to say anything to Mitch?
well, we're gonna do Oliver's gonna read the Warrior's
Yeah,
Prayer.
he's going to read the words prayer. Okay, and then we think about what questions you might have, or uh,
Oliver, so I apologize for putting you on the spot, buddy.
No, this is good, and
this is this.
I hope I do it
You
a little bit of justice.
you do. I've
So,
heard you do it. So
Hold on,
all right.
Oliver. Hold on, don't, because Oliver, I'm sorry, but we're going to spotlight you, my brother. Okay, we're gonna replace you in the spotlight. All right,
my man.
all right. We're gonna hear from you, Oliver. Hold on. And so this is how we spend our Friday evenings, most of us that are on here, because it's just such a uplifting, enriching time that we have with his work. So Oliver, the Warrior's Prayer.
All right. Paul Laurence Dunbar, The Warrior's Prayer. Long since, in sore distress, I heard one pray, Lord, who prevailest with resistless might, ever from war and strife keep me away, my battles fight. I know not if I play the Pharisee, and if my brother after all be right, but mine shall be the warrior's plea to thee, strength for the fight. I do not ask that thou shalt front the fray and drive the warring foeman from my sight. I only ask, O Lord, by night, by day, strength for the fight. When foes upon me press, let me not quail, nor think to turn me into coward flight. I only ask to make mine arms prevail, strength for the fight. Still, let mine eyes look ever on the foe. Still, let mine armor case me strong and bright, and grant me, as I deal each righteous blow, strength for the fight. And when at eventide the fray is done, my soul to death's bedchamber do thou light, and give me, by the field or lost or won, rest from the fight. Paul Laurence Dunbar.
Yes.
So Mitch gifted me a wooden plaque with this prayer engraved on it, or this poem rather, engraved on it. It hangs in my office. I walk by it every day. I think of Dunbar. I think of Mitch. I think of my colleagues. So this has touched me deeply, and I'm glad I was able to get through this without breaking up. So thanks for the opportunity.
Thank
You're
you, Oliver. That was
welcome.
wonderful.
So why does it touch you so? Were you in the military?
I was. So I was in the military for 40 years, spent most of my time overseas. And one of the middle parts of this about, asking not to front the fray or drive the warring foeman from my sight, only asking, O Lord, by night, by day, strength for the fight. That's a stanza that I had memorized for decades before I met Mitch. And then when Mitch taught me a little bit of the history behind the poet, it meant a lot more to me. So as Mitch said earlier, our paths, our stories just get deeper and deeper, and I'm so thankful for that.
Well, thank you. It was beautifully read. It
Mm.
really
Yes, thank
touched
you
us
so
as
much,
well.
Oliver.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Oliver.
Oh man. Oh, you got me crying over here, bro.
Tears of joy, my brother.
Wow. Yeah. That's yes. So this poem right now is pertinent because I think we all gonna need strength for the fight because we're in a battle. And
We have to lay low in the wilderness.
all right, who got another question? Let's get. I'm trying
I
not
got
to.
that from Betty, I must admit.
That's right.
She tells me that all the time. We have to lay low in the wilderness. Come on, y'all. This is interactive.
All right, let's do something happy.
Let's do something happy. Yeah, we're going to do.
I'm gonna do. You mentioned today. Some folks might not have heard Kinfolk.
Oh, yes. And I don't think it's in
Joan
Adams.
Braxton's. It's not Joan Braxton's book.
It's in folktale, African American folktales. It's an old book I had for years.
Right. I saw it. So I
Yeah.
know I found it. I found it. I was in a library in Fayetteville and found it, and I laughed so hard they threw me out. Told me never come back. But
Let
I
me
still, I couldn't wait to memorize it.
know. It's so good.
It
And
is.
Mitch has a CD. Do you still have the CD out? Because I'll buy some copies just for my Dunbar crew can hear this CD. Come this way. Y'all got to come
Oh,
this
that
way.
was a cassette.
No, it's
It was a cassette. Y'all need to come this way. And then my CDs were my favorite Dunbar, The Colored Soldiers, some great stories for young folks. I'm pretty much sold out. I think the only thing I have left is Colored Soldier stuff, but I
yeah,
sold out my new book.
I have that one, but I have Come This Way.
I had a CD called, I had a cassette called Kinfolk.
Did you?
I had a cassette called Kinfolk. Yeah, Granddad Junebug Kinfolk. Yeah.
And you know what I want to tie this to? Viveka. Viveka, hey Viveka. Viveka and I were just in a meeting, and also Renee. We had the meeting about ancestry. We just were in a CIS meeting on
Oh,
ancestry.
okay.
And Renee Emanuel's here from Maryland.
Yes. Yeah.
Viveka's here from Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Sure. Yeah.
And I said, when we were talking about ancestry and Viveka speaking about her family and how we're all connected, and we might, through through the fabric of American slavery, we might all be connected in one way or another, you know.
Well,
And so, kinfolk, I told you, I promised this to you, Viveka and Renee, and Mitch, you got to do kinfolk. It is not in the paullawrencedunbar.org. It's in an old book I have that says African American folk tales.
yeah.
And Dunbar has a little part, a couple of pages in it, and this was in it. So, um, Mitch, kinfolk.
Right. So yeah, just as Oni and I've listened to Oni over the years, we take artistic liberty to change words and not use the negative terms associated with Dunbar's work, which is uh like pickaninny, darky, and anyway, he used color in this one, but I mean, not that that's a bad word, but I just change it. Anyway, here we go. I love telling this poem. We own a park my father bought in 1962, where we've had family reunions there for years. For the last 63 years, people have come and held their family reunions. So my dad would always have me do storytelling. He was my biggest promoter. Yeah, Mitch, he's all over the world. He just pumped me up and but have me do storytelling for the families after they ate and stuff. And so I love telling this one at the family reunions.
Mhm.
Melindy, she fell deep in love with this here boy she knew. And it was quite the proper thing because, well, he was in love with her too. She hastened home and told her Paul that shortly she would wed one likely Rufus Brown when Paul looked up and said, "No, honey, child, you can't do that. You'll have to find another. Don't tell your ma, but Rufus Brown is surely your half brother." Melinda shed a few soft tears, then slowly went her way. But soon she met another boy and hastened home to say, "Now, Pop, I'm gonna marry that Smith boy down the street. He ain't got no bad habits and he sure can dress up neat." But Paul, he slowly shook his head, then looked across at mother and whispered, "No, child, you can't do that. That Smith boy am your half brother." Melinda, she forgot her oath, then blurted out at mother, "Paul say I can't marry Rufus Brown cause he be my half brother." And when I turned to Sonny Smith, although it seemed like treason, but 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 Paul said I can't marry him on account of this same reason. Her mama said, "Nah, honey child, don't you cry. Put on your wedding cap. Marry any one of them boys you like. You ain't no kin to Pap." Info could have been called Mama's Baby, Father's Maybe.
Oh, I love it. That's real cute. That remind me of something my mom used to say. I'm from a little place called Norristown, and
Mhm.
everybody pretty much came up from the South. And she said, they say everybody in Norristown is related. And I'll just leave that right there.
Yeah, when I was growing up, every girl I looked at, my mom would always say, "That's your cousin. She your cousin. She your cousin." Man, everybody my cousin, dang. She just tried to keep me off of them. That's all it was.
That's right. That's all.
Finally, I said, "How close cousins are we, mama?"
Hey,
That's what she was trying to do, keep you off of them.
She
Oh,
tried
wait, you sure Dunbar wrote that?
to.
Is
What?
you
Yeah,
sure?
he wrote Kinfolk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote
Are
Kinfolk.
you sure?
Positive.
So why is it a complete poems? It rhymes.
Because there's a lot of stuff that he wrote that was never published. Some guy in Denver realized when Dunbar was in Denver, some guy at a newspaper or whatever, a researcher, he said when Dunbar was in Denver, he said surely he was writing something. And sure enough, he found out he was writing articles in newspapers. They found more stuff that he had written that was never published.
Wow. It might be something. It worked, right? Pamela said it worked. So Renee wants to know, please talk about a bit about your process when learning these pieces.
Great question. So, uh, what I did was when I first started memorizing Dunbar, I would try, I was young, I was try to memorize every summer. I don't know why it was summertime. I would try to memorize 3 or 4 pieces. Uh, I would go to the beach and sit and listen to the ocean and get the rhythm of the ocean and try to memorize. But anyway, this is my process. I used to have a photographic memory. I could do this. I could look at the page, literally. I could stare at the page. I could close it and I could still see the words. I could do that for a long time. Then I lost that talent. But I could, so what I would do, I would always make a Xerox copy of it because I didn't want to tear up the books and stuff like my ancestors did. I would take one that I wanted to memorize. First of all, I only memorized stuff that would move me. It either made me laugh, it made me cry, it made me think. And I knew it would make you laugh, make you cry, make you think. So the only ones that moved me were the ones that I was drawn to. So I would have a copy of it and I would start memorizing. I would start reading it. First of all, I would read it probably 25 times. Just kept reading it over and over because in reading it, it was a layering process. Every time I read it, the words became more I used to question Dunbar's choice of words. And and then the more I would read it, I realized why he used those words, those particular words. Sometimes I thought it was a typo that he meant to say this. I even had the nerve to change a couple of words one time, and then I had to go back and say, oh, I get it now. Anyway, I would read it over and over and over. It would be a layering process. Then I would fold the page in half and I would have the first words. So I knew I would look at it and I would read, and then I would put it away, and then I would start. They had a great big party over at Tom's the other night. Was I there? Child, you bet. I never in my life had such a sight. Ah, I'm stuck. Then I look at it. Okay, all the folks from Ford Plantation was invited. Okay, got it. Dude, that's my punishment was I had to start over. So when I started over, I memorized in the beginning of it. I memorized it. I would go as far as I could go until I mess up, until I don't know. And then, so then it becomes, so once I go through it, once I'm able to go through it, all the way through the poem, all the way through without the paper, then I run it through my head. I go over and over and over. I recite it over and over and over and over 25, 35, 40 times. Now I'm programming it. After I program it, now I have to find somebody to tell it to because now there's pressure. Doing it for myself, no pressure. In front of somebody, watching their reaction, if they laugh, whatever, then now the timing has to come in where I have to shut up and let them laugh. I have to pause. So that's it. And once I can tell it at one person, then I'm ready to tell it in front of an audience. And so the way I keep it fresh, I very rarely listen to the radio if I'm traveling a long distance. I try to run the stories through my head, especially the ones that I'd only tell once every 5 or 6 years, like Christmas stories, because I'm not invited to tell stories at Christmas time, which is fine with me. I have no problem. But when somebody wants a Christmas story of somebody, stories that I haven't told in a long time, then I have to try to make sure I have them up there before I get on stage and perform them. So that's the process. So you want to be able to take the poem, you want to read it as many times, and I'm serious. The best part of reading it over and over and over again is that layering process. And you actually crawl into Dunbar's skin. You actually crawl into where he was and why he wrote what he wrote. And that's when you evidence him. That's when you know. And if it makes you cry when you're telling it, if it's a sad piece, then you understand what he was trying to tell you. You understand what he was trying to evoke. So that's how. And then once you're able to do that, once you're able to, like I said, learn it and memorize it and able to tell it, then once you get it programmed, they're like songs. People say, how do you do it? It's like music. And I've always had a good memory, knock on wood, because back in high school playing in sports, and you get on the bus after the game and we singing songs. I was the only one who knew all the words to the songs. I don't know why, but that's just the way it was. So these are like songs to me. It's like music, so that's how I do it. And it's getting harder. There's one that I God before I leave this planet that I've been wanting to memorize, and it's Ione. And it's the best, it's the most beautiful love story I've ever read. But it's so long. I mean, it's better than Shakespeare to me. I mean, it's Shakespearean, let me put it that way, but
It
it's a
is,
great
and
love.
it is
It's a,
It
long.
is.
it is long, but it's
Long.
so beautiful.
Beautiful. It really is.
Oh my God, the
You
rhythm
can,
of it.
in that one, I think you can really see his classical education from Simplify.
Exactly.
I mean, you can see he really followed the classical, quote unquote, the classical way of writing. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Beautiful poem.
May I interject?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I just want to say this has been amazing, and like, Mitch is my mentor, big brother, and he introduced me to Paul Dunbar and just community events and things of that nature. But I have studied, but Mitch doesn't know. I study Mitch in my speaking engagements when I speak around the United States doing different things. But I also noticed about Dunbar that there's also a hope and resilience of some of his poem topics of overcoming adversity.
Yes.
He being a lived experience person that has overcome some adversities. One of my ones, and please don't make me read it, please. Keep a plugging away. And
Yeah.
and I always hear Mitch when I'm reading this, but it makes me cry. And
Kind of.
so I just want to say this has been so amazing. I didn't know what to expect when I signed up and registered, but I knew if Mitch was a part of it and that he was going to be doing Dunbar, I had to get some more knowledge on it. So, but I want to learn that style of. Thank you for sharing it, how you get that photographic memory of that. But Keep a Plugging Away is one of my favorites because it shows that he addressed even some of those emotional toils of adversity, and he acknowledged also in his works that the struggles can be disheartening.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up on that. So I wonder what would happen if he would have lived past the age of 33, man.
I know, right?
So thank you for just letting me share that. I just wanted to share that. So
Thanks, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony. It's so nice to hear from you.
My man.
Yeah, we really appreciate you being here. And we're here every Friday if you'd like to join us to go over some more poems. We research, but we also perform. And we have we're not a membership group. It's called Keep a Plugging Away. We're not a membership group, but we're just lovers of Dunbar, and that's why we call ourselves the Love of Dunbar Collective. But we do help you learn the pieces, and it's also part of the repertoire to add to your repertoire if you like. So, and we have one of our friends, not members, but Viveka. She actually sings "Keep a Plugging Away." Would you like to hear her? Okay. So, Viveka,
Mm-hmm.
let me remove the spotlight on Anthony. And then let me hide. Viveka, you up to it, sis?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay, there we go. All right, Mitch, you're going to love this.
All
Viveka
right.
sings Keep a Plugging Away. Should we show the words?
Um, it's fine for me. I mean, I don't know whether others want to read along or sing
Anthony,
along.
you want to read along? Okay, I see I should be. Did you want to say something before we go into Keep a Plugging Away? Oh, it was right there. I don't know why I changed it. There it is. So this is how we do it, Anthony. This is how we do it. All right. So hold on. Let me just fix it a little bit. And like I said, we take Dunbar to theatrical levels every chance we get. And that's why I'm so glad you're here, because you are the drama papa of Dunbar. You, Mitch Capel.
No. You.
You are the drama papa.
Drop the pop.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay. I wanted to
Oh,
give
your
you
internet.
because
yeah.
it's your favorite, Anthony. I want to give you a little bit of background.
Let
Hold
me,
on, let me try something else. Hold on.
yeah. Okay, let everybody can
Just one
mute, so
second.
maybe that might help Viveka's connection.
It's let me go inside. No, I came and parked and I was just sitting outside, but come back to me
You sound
because I don't
fine
know.
now.
I
You
found that,
sound
yeah,
fine.
because I'm going in. I'm going inside. I was sitting outside listening. But let me get to a quieter place. You all,
B, did you want to
if you
say
don't mind.
something while Viveka sets herself up?
Yeah, so Mitch, what a privilege it is to meet you and to hear you. I wanted to know two things. One is, so Dunbar had an uncle, I don't know if it was his mother's brother, I believe, who was into show business. And do you think that Dunbar honed some of his theatrical skills because he was raised around him? And the second question is, I look at Dunbar. Do you look at Dunbar as a master of sound because he had the genius? He could hear. He could hear. I don't know how else to say it. He could hear, so he could hear the difference in people's voices, the difference in their pronunciation and their tone and everything like that. And then he was able to translate that
Mhm.
with his skill in English language to make it so that people could repeat it because he could write it down.
Yeah, he listened to his father, and he listened to his mother tell stories of being on a plantation, and he listened to the community as they told stories, and knowing how his mother loved poetry, he wrote them down in a poetic verse, and uh, and the different dialects, the different vernacular, uh, uh, and being influenced by James Whitcomb Riley and what have you. But his dialect, he actually captured our uh, our vernacular. He actually and the way he wrote it. I mean, because in African languages there are no th sounds. That's why he says dem,
Hmm.
dem for them,
It,
DOSC for those. There's no th sound. So he actually wrote it the way he heard it. And so
hmm
I tell people when you're reading the vernacular, the dialect, when you're reading it, read what's there. Don't try to make something that's not there. Just read it the way it's written, and
hmm
and you'll understand it. And then if you don't, then go back and read the sentence, and you have to figure out, well, what is the word? DAIH. What is that?
hmm
There. Oh, okay. So you have to. It's a different language. It's a different language altogether. So you have to study it, and once you master it, you can actually write it, and you can translate it very easily. It's beautiful, beautiful the way he wrote, and then to go back and write in standard English, and to
hmm
to write in German with the lager beer, and
hmm
it's not in German, but it's a German accent. So he
hmm
was a master. He was a great listener
He was a
and a
great
great
listener.
storyteller, and of course a great poet and a great human being. I mean, I can go on and on. Just everything. I mean, and like Anthony said, what would happen had he lived to be longer? I mean, had he lived longer, then, how brief the candle, how bright the light. Just 33 years and 7 months and 13 days, and he did all of that. I mean, it's amazing.
Mary Church
Amazing.
Terrell writes in one of her pieces that she found Dunbar he was able to mimic. She said that when he would come back from trips, he was able to tell the entire story, imitating the white people who were astonished when he walked into the hotel,
Mhm.
to the clerk who was there, and all of the annoyances. And she said that he would just have them cracking up laughing
Mhm.
because he was so good at mimicking. And I
Mhm.
imagine that being able to do that, like you said,
Poet
he
of
could
the
hear it.
spirit.
And the
There's a
genius was not only hearing it, but writing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they said at his house when he had visitors come to his parlor, that
That's
you
it.
could just hear the laughter going, and for just everybody to just, you can imagine sitting in his parlor and listening to him recite. I've been to his house many, many times. In fact, when I pulled out this old book of mine, I found this crumpled up piece of, well, it's not crumpled, folded piece of paper. That's the first time I went to his house. It was probably in 1986. I flew in the date, and I caught a cab from the airport, and I told him to take me to 219. Was it 219? Was it Summit Street? Anyway, it's Dunbar Street now, but I told him to take me to that address, and it was funny. We got there. We didn't get to the house. We got to an intersection, and we were on North Summit Street. And he said he's looking left and he's looking right, and he said, "Oh, know which way I need to go." I said, "Make a left. It's 2 blocks down on the right." He said, "You've been there before?" I said, "No." We made a left. It was 2 blocks down on the right. And so it was closed. The house was closed, and I just walked around, and I had my camera, and I took some film. I had a film canister, and I took some dirt, and I scraped some paint off the windowsill, and I put it in this paper. I just had to get something, and so then I found a phone number, and I called, and Miss Peterson was running the house at the time, and she invited me back. So I've been going back, and when I first went to his house, uh, in his bedroom was still his top hat, his clothes were still in the closet, his pipes were there, everything was still intact. I would put on his hat. I took my kids one time. I was putting his pipe in my mouth and put my hands on his typewriter and stuff. And then Mrs. Ski came, and she started taking over the house, and I was begging everybody to let me spend the night in the house. They never let me spend the night. I could spend the day in there by myself, and I've often fallen asleep in his bed. Every time I would go to his house and take a nap on his bed, I would leave my business card under his pillow. And uh, but I always wanted to spend the night because he was there. His mother was their spirit was in that house. It was so evident. In fact, Mrs. Ski said many times, and Mrs. Peterson said also, they would hear his mother talking in the house. And one time I was there, and they had a contest in all the schools, the elementary schools in Dayton, and they had all these kids memorize Dunbar. And they took the winners from each school, and they brought them to the Dunbar house. And they would stand on the porch and say, "My name is Hakeem Jeffries. I'm going to do in the morning. Lies, lies, just." And I'm one of the judges, so I'm sitting on his lawn on the grass with other people, and we're judging these kids, and all of them were excellent. And I mean, it was so beautiful. And I leaned over to this lady and I said, Paul Dunbar is smiling down right now. She said, "I know he is." And I looked up at his bedroom window, and the curtain opened up, and there was an image there.
Wow.
And it was him. He was standing there looking down as soon as I said that. So I always wanted to spend the night in his house. I always wanted to, I know we would have had a nice time.
Well, he didn't
I don't know
let
if
you.
you know it or not, Mitch, but in my
I have some questions. We want to move
Okay.
on a little
before you
bit.
do that, let me just comment on what he said, because in my research on Dunbar, I've read that story.
What story?
The story of you and the curtain opening.
Wow.
I've read that story.
Wow.
Yes. So you're the guy. Wow.
I'm the guy.
Well,
Yeah.
I think Paul had an understanding of spirituality that went beyond what we learned when we came to the United States, and I think that he had an ancestral connection and was able to work through it. It was absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Okay, we have two questions from Nzinga. Maybe you can put them together, and then we have another question from Timeless, Brother Timeless. He's from New Orleans, Bubacha.
Ah.
Yeah, and he has a question as well. So I
Okay,
don't
let's
want him
go.
to leave thinking
First
we're not
question.
going to get to his question.
First question. Go ahead.
Okay, Nzinga asks, "How was it for you?" Now she's asking a brother from South Kakalaka.
North Kakalaki.
Oh, sorry, I'm from South. I forget. My people's from South. I get it mixed up.
Y'all
That's
Geechee.
North
right.
Y'all
Kakalaka.
Geechee. Go ahead.
Yeah, my daddy was a Geechee.
Yeah.
So from North Kakalaka, how was it for you to accomplish? I'm assuming you mean the Southern dialect.
Of
And
course.
yes, and, no, you could have asked these questions yourself, Nzinga. But okay. And what was the most powerful poem that you ever read?
By Paul.
Go ahead. Yes.
So the first part is about Southern dialect.
Yeah, how was it for you?
Got you, Southern.
Oh, I loved it. I mean, it's funny how I'm hearing different dialects and different tones of Southern
Hmm.
around me right now. I mean, I was talking to a guy this morning and he was country as a mop on the back porch. and and but I understood every word he said, you know.
Mm.
People don't think I'm from the South. I don't know why I have a northern accent. But I think it's because growing up I had neighbors who went to New York every year and came back and they talked with that New York and I loved it. It sounded good. So, but anyway, and the second part of the question was, refresh my memory.
What was the most powerful
The
poem you
most
ever wrote?
powerful poem. Oh my God. It's like asking me which child do I like the best.
Right.
But Ode Ethiopia, um, so many of them. We Were the Mass Sympathy. I mean, all those pieces. I'll tell you one, and if I have time to tell it, is Religion. Uh, that's a very powerful piece. It's a short one too, but go ahead. What's the next question? If we have time, we'll get.
Yes. So we would like to, Viveka set up and she's going to sing for you and Anthony, Keep a Plugging Away. And
Okay.
then we'll go to Timeless poem, Timeless question,
Okay.
and then we can hear Religion.
Okay.
So I'm going to split the screen and we're going to hear Viveka give her rendition of Keep a Plugging Away. Just a minute, Viveka. Let me get you up here. Ah, there you are. Oh, there we go.
All right. Thank you all for your patience. Anthony, because you said this one of your favorites, I wanted to share with you just a little background on how this came about. I had the poem assigned to me, and I don't know, I was struggling maybe to memorize it, and Oni said, sing it.
Mm.
I said, well, what are you hearing? Because I wasn't hearing a song. And she said, the blues. And I still wasn't hearing it. And then Mama Nzinga said, gospel. And then this is what came. Keep a Plugging Away by Paul Laurence Dunbar. I've a humble little motto that is homely though it's true. Keep a plugging away. It's a thing when I've an object that I always try to do. Keep a plugging away. When you rising storms to quell, when opposing waters swell, it will never fail to tell. Keep a plugging away. If the hills are high before and the paths are hard to climb, keep a plugging away. And remember that successes comes to him who bides his time. Keep plugging away. From the greatest to the least, none are from this rule released. Be thou toiler, poet, or priest, keep plugging away. Delve away beneath the surface, there is treasure farther down. Keep plugging away. Let the rain come down the torrents, let the threatening heavens frown. Keep plugging away. When the clouds have rolled away, there will come a brighter day. All your labor to repay. Keep plugging away. There'll be lots of sneers to swallow. There'll be lots of pain to bear. Keep plugging away. If you got your eye on heaven, some bright day will wake up there. Keep plugging away. Perseverance still is king. Time is sure reward will bring. Work and wait unwearying. Keep plugging away. Keep plugging away by
Yay.
Paul Laurence Dunbar.
Yay, Rebecca!
Yay, Rebecca.
Yay!
Thank
Oh
you.
wow. So every time I see that poem now, I'm gonna hear it. that
Oh, yeah.
way.
You won't forget it now.
I'm gonna hear it that way. That was
Don't
beautiful.
forget it now. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank
Beautiful.
you, Rebecca.
Mighty
Yes,
rich, as they said in the South. Mighty rich.
Mighty rich.
Yeah.
So
Sister
there's
Maldonia Jenkins from Lick Skillet Missionary Baptist Church.
Right.
Yeah, but it's in Mississippi. Mighty rich. Mighty rich.
so there's a fellow
That's right.
storyteller.
Go on, girl. Hallelujah.
Pass the plate.
Right. Pass the plate on that one.
hold on there.
How you like that, Anthony?
Keep plugging away,
Oh, brother.
plugging away. I was singing from.
Yes, I saw you singing it.
No,
Yeah.
on that one, you got to march around the table so they can sit there and watch you what you put on the table. Don't pass the tray.
Right.
On that one right there, you got to march around the table. Because
That's
you're going to put a lot because he's standing right there looking at you. You don't want to put no, don't pass no tray because you might put a penny in there. On a song
Yeah, we
like that,
need some
everybody
tambourine.
going to get up there. They're going to stand at your, in your pew chair and you got to go march around the table. After a song like that.
Hallelujah.
Thank
You're
you.
inspired.
Hallelujah.
You're so inspired after that one.
It's
That was
that
beautiful.
it's sure reward
Hallelujah.
bring. Wait, work and wait unwearying. Keep a plugging away.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's what we keep doing.
So,
Can
so
I
he,
give a
Very
backstory?
inspirational.
yeah, he wrote that. Tell him why he wrote that. Go ahead.
The way I understand it is that he was doing poorly in school
Yep.
and was on the verge of maybe not being able to graduate because he had missed so much time because of illness.
Yeah.
And he did it. He came back and finished it up, and he wrote this poem, "Keep Plugging Away," because it didn't look bright for him at the moment.
Yeah. Keep it plugging away.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Rebecca Deans.
Becca
Thank
Deans.
you.
So there's a friend of ours. I think she's a friend of Oni's too. April Armstrong. She does the Bessie Coleman story. It's a one woman show. It's a beautiful. In fact, I'm trying to coordinate having it brought here to Southern Pines. But she, in her play, she sings "Keep It Plugging Away." And when I saw that, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's doing Dunbar with Bessie
Yes,
Coleman.
yes, yes.
She's
That's my
beautiful.
girl, April. Yes,
Yeah.
she's,
So
she's fantastic.
she is.
And we want you to bring us to Pines too. So
I'm
we'll
gonna
talk
bring
about
it.
that.
We're gonna do that.
No, I
Have
got
you
you.
heard Robeson do my little gal?
Paul Robeson.
Do little gal.
Seem like I have. I think I pulled it up one time for some reason.
It was the song that made Robeson a heartthrob.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I can see that.
Well,
Thank
we're going to move on to Timeless had a question. Then Bernie, my
Okay.
friend Bernie's here.
All right.
But Timeless had a question. Timeless, are you there? Do you want to speak your question to Mitch?
Greetings, everyone. Let me first say I deeply appreciate the breadth and depth of your brilliance, Mr. Capel.
Oh,
Give thanks. Give
Wow.
thanks.
Thank you, brother.
Deeply appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
My question was, it's a two-parter. Do you have any other muses? And do you have an original piece that you would care to share?
Yes and yes. I have, in researching Paul Dunbar, because my father was telling me about a poem and all he knew was the first line. He couldn't remember it. He said, boy, if you can find this one, if you can find this one. And so I went to Granger's Index of First Lines. And then there's I think there was a Granger's Dialect Index of First Line, whatever. But my dad had the first word wrong, so I couldn't find it. And finally, I thought maybe he had the word wrong, and I found it. It was called An Indignation Dinner by James David Carruthers. So I discovered James, and so in researching Granger's Index of First Lines in dialect, I found other writers like Henry Franklin Bryant, brilliant. He's got a piece called "In Days Gone By." That's just, it's a long piece. I've memorized it, but it just takes you through. It takes you through slavery. I hate to use that word, captivity. It takes you through that. all the way through the Civil War, all the way through where it's just him and his wife sitting there, and he's holding his grandchild in his lap, and he's telling his whole life story. It is so beautiful. So I've learned those other writers. I've memorized a lot of their stuff. Well, William Cullen Bryant, the African Chief. I mean, I usually start off my historical pieces with that because we want to start in the motherland. Um, um, a piece I could share, time permitting. I wrote this piece. Dunbar, by me studying Dunbar for 7 years, just like Dr. Maya Angelou did. She stopped talking for 7 years, but she kept the life and works of Paul Laurence Dunbar and read it every day after she was molested as a child, and Dunbar turned her into a poet. That's why she named her book, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. But uh, when Barack Hussein Obama was elected president of these now divided states of America, um, it was a monumental occasion that I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. My father was still living. My mother, we never thought we'd see it in their lifetime. My kids, we were all on a conference call and we were all celebrating the victory, and just we thought, oh wow, we finally reached a point in history where this could happen. And because it was so, you guys, y'all, everybody remember what happened. It was amazing, the energy all over the world, and I couldn't sleep. I could not sleep until I sat down at my kitchen table and I got a pen and a pad and I wrote this piece called The Election Slide. As opposed to the electric slide, I called it the election slide. I said, the ancestors are dancing with the living. Even those whose decision it was to drown in the Atlantic are ecstatically sliding electionally on the ocean's floor to a syncopathic Babatunde African drum beat with a spattering of Ella scattering while Negro spirituals sing back up on drums is Roach, Monk's on piano with his Thelonious approach, Miles is on horn with Dizzy and Satchmo, chanting hypnotically is Geronimo, while Mr. Bojangles and Little Sammy and even old Uncle Ben and I ain't your mammy are smiling as they filing down the Soul Train line. This time is now, this time is here. Mud Deer and all those who feared the dogs and the hoses and the whips have a new dip in their hip and a new glide in their stride as they slide and move with the audacity of a hope groove. Realized while singing the chorus, yes, we can, and yes, we did, as a new day dawns over pyramids. With the prophecy fulfilled, we are the ones we have been waiting for. And that was all Dunbar.
Whenever I get a chill, when I hear something, I know it's like the real deal, and I just got a chill.
Thank you. But that was
Give
Dunbar.
thanks. Give thanks.
That was Dunbar that wrote that through me. I know it was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for the question, brother.
Great.
Any more questions?
Oh, I have a question.
All right.
I noticed in your background you have a banner from, it says Dunbar Poets. Is that from the Dunbar High School?
That's from the Dunbar High School in
In
Baltimore,
Baltimore. I'm in Baltimore, so when I saw it,
Maryland.
I
Yeah,
really recognized it, and it made me want to ask this question. I know a lot of Dunbar alumni, but Dunbar alumni don't know Paul Laurence Dunbar.
sad, isn't it?
Why do you think that such a genius has been forgotten, erased, or forgotten, or both?
Well, there was a time when after during the Harlem Renaissance, that they thought Dunbar was a sellout. People were saying because of the dialect pieces, and that he was glorifying captivity, being enslaved. Uh, but if you just look at his standard piece, the reason he wrote the pieces he wrote in dialect, because that was the only thing that the publishers were asking for. That's the only thing they would publish, the magazines. That's all they wanted. And he even wrote about that in one of his poems. How they want the in a broken tongue, the jingle in a broken, yeah, jingle in a broken tongue. So that's but even in his dialect pieces, he still was defending and he was still glorifying, uh,
Elevating.
elevating. Thank you very much. In Dealey,
Yeah.
she pure colored. Don't you see? That's just what's the matter. That's why I love her so. I mean,
Piece.
he's still, hey,
That's right.
you
Ain't no
know,
mix about her.
there ain't no mix about her. As soon as you see her face, there ain't no chance to doubt.
It's data.
Some folk go to church and pray so to get a blessing. They better come my way. They can learn a lesson. So, even in his dialect pieces, he still was champion. He talked about white folks in his dialect, the possum, anything I know is when they sits down to unskinned possums meat, the ignorant white man, he's talking junk to them in their face. He's talking smack. Y'all don't know
That's
nothing about
right.
eating. You don't know nothing about eating. When Millennium sings, go away and quit that noise, Miss Lucy.
Miss Lucy.
Put that music book away. I mean, he's talking smack.
Yeah.
So how did we come out to think that? I think it was just because of the language.
Well, do you
That
think that his essays, his articles, which we don't, it's very hard to come by, that they were so scathing that very much like Robeson, he was sort of like, we can't have this black man saying these things. This is outside of the poetry.
Mhm. Well, he was influenced by Booker T, and he was influenced by Frederick Douglass, and he wrote a piece. Frederick did that piece about the 4th of July. Dunbar did the same thing. He wrote a scathing piece. Why do we celebrate?
Yes.
And everybody all right? Somebody fall?
Sorry.
And so it might have been that he was, and the fact that he rode in McKinley's parade, I don't know if that had any bearing on it, that he was part of that. And McKinley was a big Republican. Well, I guess I don't know what it was back then, but he was supposed to be a bad guy, I guess, McKinley.
Well,
Well,
along the
well,
same lines, one last question. Along
Go
the
ahead.
same lines, do you have any suggestions for where we can find those essays and those articles he wrote for things like magazines like Atlantic Monthly?
We should be able to. I mean, now that everything is with AI and all that stuff with research, we should be able to. I have a friend that's at the Library of Congress, and I not to tap into his uh, being able to resources and pull out stuff. And I, I I'm almost thinking there's a film on Dunbar. I mean, actual footage of him moving and walking uh, somewhere with the Wright brothers. I think there is, but anyway, I haven't gone to the Library of Congress to look and look that up, but I'm sure there is. At Harper's, he was in there a lot. Uh, Trying to think if I have any of them back here. I've got a lot of his stuff. I've been collecting his work for 40 some years now. I used to find Dunbar books for $10. And then I'm looking for them. I'm looking everywhere I go. Every time I would travel to do shows, I would find antique stores and thrift stores and ask for Dunbar books. And then after a while, they started going up. Next thing I know, they're 300, 400, $500. And I don't know my questioning and then asking for them was the reason why, but anyway, I don't know. That's a good question. Could we find his essays? I'm sure they've been preserved. I mean, everything's been preserved pretty much, and we need to find it before they are destroyed.
Wright University has a very interesting catalog of
Okay.
his works. So you possibly could find it there. We want to move on with because Birdie's had her hand up for some time. Birdie, Birdie she's a member of Keepers of the Culture.
Okay.
Do you have a question for Mitch? Keepers of the Culture is Code C.
I know that's what I
But if
said.
I say,
Coach.
oh yeah, you said Code C. Okay.
I said Coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good people there.
Bernadette, Birdie,
Birdie.
you there, girl? You there? I stopped screen sharing, I think, and maybe that's to solve the issue you're having, Veka.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
hear you now.
Oh, hi, everybody. Really enjoy. I came a little late, excuse me, but I really enjoyed the lady. I came, I think, Charlie, before the lady that sung, and I thought she sung beautifully. And I'm new to Dunbar, kind of new, and but Only's guiding me along, and I enjoy him. I really do. The dialect is a little difficult to comprehend sometimes, but I enjoy him a lot. And Mr. Capel, is that your name?
Yes, very good. Yes.
I just enjoyed your lecture. I'm gonna look up look up some of the things you mentioned. I'm a former secretary, so I'm used to taking notes, and I did take some notes, and I'm gonna look up some of the things you referenced, so I can um, become an expert like Oni.
You're in good hands with Oni.
Uh, she knows a whole lot, and also, Oni, I want to tell you, you're a wonderful uh, teller. Did you perform today, this evening?
Well, well, I was just going to say, we have about 20 minutes left, and thank you so much for being here this long with us. Sometimes we even go over the 2 hours because we get so involved in the work.
Yeah.
So, Mitch, you mentioned that you want to share something. I wasn't sure if what it was, but you said if you had time.
Oh,
And
religion.
religion. Oh, yes. And
Religion.
Rebecca, are you okay with the screen? I stopped sharing. Can everyone see Mitch Spotlit?
I can see him.
Yes.
Okay.
I see everybody.
Thank you. Okay, thanks.
All right, cool.
All right.
So yeah, the poem "Religion." Dunbar, his nickname was Deacon because he had such a melodious voice, and they wanted him to be a minister, but he did not acquiesce. But he wrote this poem called "Religion," where he said, "I am no priest of crooks or creeds, for human wants and human needs are more to me than prophets' deeds, and human tears and human cares affect me more than human prayers. Go, cease your wail, lugubrious saint. You fret high heaven with your plaint. Is this the Christian's boasted bliss? Avails your faith no more than this? Take up your arms, come out with me, let heaven alone. Humanity needs more, and heaven less of thee. With pity for mankind, look round. With pity for mankind, look round.
A good message for today.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, yes.
Help.
With pity
Beautiful.
for mankind, look round. What's the last line? I'm having
Help them. Help them to rise.
thank you. Help them to rise.
Right.
Heaven is found. Whew. I had something come over me right there. Yeah. So, like I said, I used to have a photographic memory. Now I'm about out of film.
Miss Mitchell, what was the name of that last piece? What was the name of that poem you just?
Religion. Religion.
Yeah. You said that. Thank you.
And then he wrote theology. There is a heaven forever, day by day. The upward longing of my soul doth tell me so. There is a hell, I'm quite as sure. For pray, if there were not, where would my neighbor go? Yeah.
I like that. Does anyone who hasn't had a chance to
ask a question?
Ask a question would like to now? Rosie, welcome, Rosie. I'm so glad you came. Good night. Anyone else? Any thoughts? Well, I'd like to.
I have a question.
Okay.
Only how long have you been studying Dunbar? I know it's been a while.
Don't age me. Yes, it's been a while.
Well,
listen, I started out doing Liza's mother, and I had to, put gray in my hair and put wrinkles. Now I don't have to. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I am Liza's mother.
Yeah, I used to do makeup. Now I just show
Tell
up.
them that story, Mitch. Tell him that story about doing makeup.
Yeah, I used to do makeup. Now I just show up.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I used to take the
It's cute.
melatonin
Right.
shoe cream, the white shoe cream, and I had two toothbrushes, and I would put one in there, just the bristles at the end, and I would rub it against the other one, and I would lightly go over my beard with the white, and I'd be in the bathroom doing it. And guys would be in there, man, we seen him take the white out. We never saw him put it in, make a joke. But I would put it in very lightly, and it would stay all day, and then. At the end of the day, I would just get over a sink and I'd do this and it would come off. And after a while, I was doing this and it stopped coming off.
And you were smelling minty fresh.
I was feeling mental fresh, but I was working for an airlines. I was working for Piedmont Airlines, and they would not let me grow a beard. And I figured being granddaddy Junebug and doing the dialect, I figured an old man had to be telling these stories. So I'm in my 20s. I went to LA, I went to Hollywood, and I bought myself a beard. And I pulled this picture out of this book I had. So this is my grandmother that got me in Dunbar. And there's me with that fake beard I had on
How sweet.
when I first started doing granddaddy Junebug.
Oh, how sweet.
And so
Yeah.
I would go to
Very
the
nice.
schools, and the first question the kids would ask, "Is that beard real?" And I'd say, "Yeah." At least it was when I bought it. But I ended up suing the airlines to grow a beard because I had pseudofolliculitis, which is ingrown hairs, and the only cure for it was to grow a beard. And I got a note from a dermatologist telling me that was it. And I took it to them. And they said, "You still can't grow a beard." And I ended up filing a lawsuit against them for discrimination and won.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I was able to grow. So I was the first guy in the airline industry to have a beard. That worked on the
All
plane.
right.
That's good for
Right.
you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Not to go digress too far back.
Okay.
We were talking about how our community, how the Black community didn't accept Dunbar,
Mm,
right?
right.
And when I started, to answer your question, Bertie, when I
Uh-huh.
started doing Dunbar in 1992, Bob
Ah,
Jones taught me Dunbar. And he taught me as he was developing a theater piece called Lyrics of Love and Laughter. And when I looked at the dialect, I just said, I can't do this.
yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, I can't do this. But we had sessions every day, and I would go up on the hill and we would read the poetry and we talk about it. And Bobby would explain it on such a deep level. I mean, he really knew Dunbar's work. Like Mitch, he was taught from his father, his mother. They were on a farm way out here in Amish country,
Mhm.
and they were shoers. And one of his uncle invented a wheat machine that separated the wheat that the Amish people use to this day.
Mm,
Black folks, right?
mhm,
So when I started learning Dunbar, and my uncle was in theater, and he said to me, I said, "Oh, I'm studying Dunbar, Uncle Sidney," and he says, "Do you know the party?" And I said, "No, I haven't gotten to I don't know the party yet." He said, "Well, then you don't know Dunbar, you know?" So from then, my mother said she didn't want to know anything about Dunbar. She was from Louisiana, born and raised in Lafayette, and this typical Creole where, where they had this colorism. And not only that, a lot of African Americans or Black folks in Louisiana didn't want to hear about slavery or bondage. They
mhm.
didn't want to go back there. They
Yep.
thought Dunbar was pandering to the Caucasian communities
Mhm.
by
Were
bring.
they, excuse me, were they embarrassed that we were once enslaved? Was that it?
Well, it's not that they were embarrassed, but it's that they didn't want to accept it. They didn't want to revisit it. They didn't
Mm,
want to hear that kind of. Explain
okay.
it, Mitch. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, the folks from that era that lived through it, they wanted to forget it, so they
Get
would
it.
they didn't want to talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And
But it was
the only
traumatic. It was
it was
traumatic.
traumatic. It was
Yeah.
traumatic. But
Yes,
we
of
have
course.
to. We have
We,
to. You have to
we do.
understand. We have to talk about it because
We
not
do.
we're gonna repeat it. So we gotta talk
Mhm.
about it.
And
We
from my
do.
mother's point of view, she said, "Oh, we had to learn some poem called Suki, old Suki this and
Oh,
Suki that."
super. Yeah, but that old mare of mine.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
hated. She says, "Oh, I just." And mind you, my mother, she used to also say that, white folks worked for us. she had her parents had a business in Lafayette, Louisiana, a grocery store that was a juke joint on the weekend. But during the week, it was a grocery store, and white folks did work for them. But not only that, it was like to go back there. They looked down on Dunbar's Southern dialect, as we call it in our group, the Southern dialect, as a, you know, like let's forget about that. We don't need to hear that anymore. My mother was like into more Langston, and you know, she was singing
Oh, that one song.
opera, and
Yeah.
she was kind of bougie, you know, kind
Yeah.
of bougie in a
Yeah.
way in her outlook.
Yeah.
The same thing with Alice, his wife.
Yeah.
Her mother did not want her to even marry him
Right.
because of this colorism of light skin, black, you know, dark skin, light skin, and all of that
And
stuff.
Dunbar's mother didn't want him to marry her.
Right. Because
Uh-uh.
That was a
hello,
two-edged sword.
Why?
hello,
Because she was too light for his mother?
hello.
I
She,
don't get it.
she
Why
was.
she didn't? I don't get either one of them. No,
I,
either point of view. Why
I,
didn't his mother want him to marry her? What was
I,
his
I
reason?
think, I think it was a little bit of colorism, but I also think she might have thought because Dunbar was already famous and she was
Ah,
up and coming that she was gold digging and wanted
a
to
goat.
use
Oh yeah,
his name to further her career.
I get
And
it.
I'm just, I mean, I've
She
gathered
did.
that
Speculating.
She did after when he died. She
she
did
never
use his name.
she never
She
divorced
kept it.
him.
She
She
never.
never divorced him, and she continued to use his name. And
Mm,
she got married again, but she still kept Dunbar on her name.
mm,
Yeah, so
But
interesting.
she was published.
she was published.
Yeah, before
Yeah, in
she met
fact,
him.
yeah, I had a book of hers somewhere, and
I have her book, the of Saint Jacques, and I have a couple
collected works. She
collected
had a
works.
collected works.
Yes, and there's also an Audible on her works as well.
Do you have
Mm.
Oni? Side note, in her collected works, I can't find my copy, but there's a poem in there called "The Funeral," FUNAL, "The Funeral of Bruh Tony Smith, or the Knights of the Rising Star." I can't. I had that poem memorized. I can't find. I get to a certain point right now, and I can't go any further. And
I'll
I
look for it because I
look
do have
for
it in my library. Her collected works of poetry. I'll
yeah,
look for it. And she wrote short stories as well.
yeah.
One of the short stories she wrote was about you would think it was like the woman's first time being intimate with a man. And at the end of the story, you find out she's at a dentist's office.
that
Uh-huh.
So she was very clever.
that
And
painful, huh?
yeah, she was very clever. Alice Ruth Moore Dunbar. She was very clever in her own right as an
So,
author and a writer and a poet.
so I'm trying to memorize one of his short stories right now, Viney's Papers, and I'm trying to memorize it in honor of Dylan because Dylan used to tell that story,
Yes.
and so I've that's in my next try to memorize, and it'll be a lot easier because it's a story. Thing about poetry, you know, you can't. There's no ad libbing. You have to stay pretty much on point. So
And it's funny because Birdie,
Yes.
my interest, I can memorize. I'm like Mitch in a way. I have a photo when I read it, I had a photographic memory as well. And
Yes,
I
you
can
do.
memorize poetry, but I cannot memorize anything that doesn't rhyme.
mm.
Hmm.
So it's like the rhyming of it helps me.
Yeah, because
Helps me in my
you know the next line has to rhyme with what you
that's
just
right.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And that process, for those who asked about the process, and since you asked Birdie, any other questions?
Only when you're memorizing, do you use a tape recorder is that one of
No,
your tools?
no, I don't tape record myself. I usually did a lot of my memory in the kitchen while I'm cooking. And
Ah,
my children used to laugh at me because they say, and then I would rap like they was talking in the cabin, they was talking in the hall, and I listen kind of careless, not thinking about
Mhm,
it all.
mhm.
So
okay.
I have fun with it, and I just once I get it, you know, I have it on printed out while I'm cooking, and I take a couple of lines and just put it to memory, and I
Mhm.
don't even remember because I haven't memorized it since 1998 because it's just all in my head now, and it just
Mhm.
comes
Wow.
up. It just comes
Well,
out.
can either one of you, Mr. Capel, suggest a Dunbar starter book that I could maybe buy?
Well, I mean, I would find the life and works of the complete poems, because you don't want to start a book, because once you start, you're gonna go full hog with him, hopefully. But
Well, I just wanted because I haven't read a book on him, and
uh,
buy him. And when I said starter, I mean it'll be my first book that I
well,
would
the reason I
actually read.
suggest the life and works of Paul Laurence Dunbar is because you first read about his life. Once you
Okay.
read about his life story and his mother's story, and his father, and see the photographs of them, and then follow his life, and then once you start reading his poetry, and then if the poem doesn't speak to you, just go to the next one. Just keep until you find one that speaks to you, and
Okay, so
then
now that book is by the author is Paula
yes,
Dunbar, right? Okay,
the life and works of Paul Laurence Dunbar. And you
fine.
can go on Amazon.
Thank,
There's some paperbacks. There's some that's not real expensive, maybe $9 or $10, whatever.
okay,
Yeah. So
thank you.
yeah, that's
Thank
what.
She
you.
might enjoy his. She might enjoy his novels too, because his novels are fire.
Yeah, his novels are
Yes,
fire. The Sport of the Gods,
they're
The
fire.
Uncalled. Oh
Okay.
yeah,
No, I mean they're not called fire, but they're
they're yeah, they're hot. They're good.
yes.
Okay. Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Any more
Thank you.
questions? Oh, I'm looking for a napkin. I need to bring a napkin in here to do this evening. Oh, shoot.
Yes, that's fun. Just do that for us. That'll be great.
Okay, y'all talk. I'm gonna go find a napkin.
All right.
I don't know my napkin.
Well,
So
where's Zinga? Zinga, you awful quiet for a change. Where are you at?
She was talking.
What you got? You got laryngitis?
She was talking before you came on.
Oh, okay, okay. Zinga, she talked out. Or maybe she went to get to do something. Zinga, are you still there, hon? I guess maybe
yeah,
she left a little early.
yeah, we're recording, Bernadette. Timeless.
You are. I should have put on some darn lipstick for God's sake.
Yeah, you should have.
But I
Timeless.
tell you,
Timeless. Would you like to do a poem for Mitch? Are you prepared? Timeless. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm just getting off
Timeless.
off mute.
I like
Uh,
that name,
Hey,
Timeless.
greetings.
yes, because
I'll
Timeless,
give
yes,
thanks.
Timeless,
Appreciate you.
he's also very active with Lambs, Louisiana and Mississippi Black storytellers,
Oh yeah.
Diane Williams.
I am.
Yes. Did
Yeah.
you know? Did you know?
Terrence.
Yeah, and oh gosh, oh Zulu. Oh, not the Zulus. They put the festival on one year.
Ruzi.
No, no, no,
Ruzi
no.
and
No, no,
Novando.
no, 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 no. Not Zulu then. Um, his wife was. They owned a bookstore there, and his wife was in Queen Sugar. She's on some TV show, some Netflix thing.
Adela the storyteller.
Adela, the
Ella the
storyteller,
storyteller.
and Amos Bolton. Yes.
Yeah,
Did you?
yeah. I definitely knew Adela.
Okay. Your husband was Amos Bolton. Yeah. Yeah.
Timeless is one of our male voices. We have Ron Carter out of Texas, and Ron Carter used to be in Keepers of the Culture here with me in Philadelphia, and
yes.
also Rashid Ali.
Hmm.
And Rashid Ali couldn't be here tonight, and then we had Timeless. So we had that triangle of testosterone in our group, and we just really love Timeless' voice, how he voices Dunbar.
All
Betty
right,
and I were
Thomas.
hoping maybe he would portray Dunbar in a future program.
There you
Right,
go.
Betty?
Ooh.
Oh, I see this light behind me is what's getting. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
Thomas.
we're waiting for you, Timeless.
Well,
We're waiting for you.
I don't have anything prepared at the moment. Um, I just came to feast on this rich banquet, and I tell y'all, I feel well fed already. Give thanks.
Oh, man.
Okay.
I appreciate you.
All right.
Yes, thank you for coming, Timeless. We appreciate you as
Most
well.
definitely. Most
All
definitely.
right, so we have 5 minutes, and we want to just thank Mitch. Yeah, that light made a little scribble scrabble.
Yeah, I put my hand up here and it goes away. There it is. Where's that? Oh, that's from the lights behind me. I see it now.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's all right. So, would you like to close with one of your favorite? I mean, we
My
all love
favorite.
Dunbar almost as much as you. Maybe
Y'all
even
love it more. Y'all do
even
this every
more.
Friday night. If I had time, I'd join you, but I'm always on the road. I got too many things going on. I got to take some irons out of the fire. If I concentrated on just storytelling and concentrated on one thing, I might be able to be successful. But anyway,
Well, we'd love to come to a Dunbar festival in North Carolina. We have to take Dunbar out of Dayton for
we
a
got to
little
take him
bit.
out of Dayton. Yeah, we need to do
He's
it.
international.
I
He
would
is.
love to join you guys in North Carolina.
Yeah,
Well, you
I
have
want
to
to
come
bring the
to
retreat. I want to
you
bring the
have to come
retreat
to
back.
you have to come to our sessions, Bernadette. Bernie, you
You
have to
mean
come to our sessions on Friday so we can get you prepped up for performing with us, okay?
I'll be here next Friday for sure at 7 o'clock. I just want to get the past ID numbers and stuff. I don't know how I got in this actually because I didn't put an ID. I didn't put anything, but I guess I was pre-registered. I don't
Yes, you
know.
were. You were
Oh,
pre-registered.
okay. You
Yeah,
know, I know this is not my first time joining the group, but
yeah.
it's been a while actually.
Well, meanwhile, before you get the book, you can go to www.paullawrence with a LAURENCE
.org.
dot org.
Wait a minute. Can you slow down, please, only?
Very
www. What?
Paul Laurence, LAURENCE. Stop, Mitch. Dunbar.
Dunbar.
Because that's me. I
That's
mean, I'm
my
right there with
sister.
you.
Don't be laughing at my sister.
I'm
Okay,
not
that's my
laughing at it.
sister.
I'm
See
laughing
you.
because that's me. I'm the
See,
same way. I'm the most low tech person in the world.
but
I'm
you're
I,
surprised I got on.
I probably will beat you. I'm probably a little bit lower. Let me stop. I'm learning. I'm
that's
trying.
okay. That's okay. Okay.
It's difficult when you learn as a mature adult. I mean, you know, these kids. My son's 42. My God, I know he had it in the elementary school. You know, so they got a big head start over older people.
Yes.
Birdie, we're
Yes.
recording.
Excuse me.
Call
Uh,
you
uh,
after this, okay?
am I out of pocket?
I'm gonna call you. We're gonna hook it up. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get you the book and everything.
okay, yeah,
He's
call me.
recording, and I can't edit. I'm not a good editor.
Okay,
So we
all
want to
right.
close and thank Mitch Capel, Granddaddy Junebug, and you're going to give us your signature piece
I
on
would give it my signature piece.
the. All right.
This is so much
Bring
fun.
your
Thank y'all
screen
for
down.
having me. I mean, this is family. You know, this is what
Yeah, we
family
have.
does.
Yeah, it is. It
It's
really
family. So,
is.
all right, here we go. The Seedling by Paul Dunbar. As a quiet little seedling lay within its darksome bed,
We can't see the flower. Bring down your screen a little bit. Okay.
I hold it up.
Okay. Yeah, hold it up.
As a quiet little seedling lay within its darksome bed, to itself it fell a talking, and this is what it said. I am not so very robust, but I'll do the best I can. And that seedling, from that moment, its work of life began. So it pushed a little leaflet up into the light of day to examine the surroundings and show the rest the way. The leaflet liked the prospect, so it called its brother, Stem, and two other leaflets heard it and quickly followed them. To be sure, the haste and hurry made the little seedling pant, but almost before it knew it, it found itself a plant. The sunshine poured upon it, and the clouds, they gave a shower, and that little plant kept growing till it found itself a flower. Folks,
Wow.
be like the little seedlings. Always do the best you can. Everyone must share life's labors, be you child, woman, or man. And the sun and rain will help you through life's lonesome struggling hours to raise to light and beauty, virtues fair, unfading flowers.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank
Right.
you. I talked to Bill up there.
we're going to need a tutorial on that.
No problem.
Yes.
Because we have some children, youngsters in our lives we'd love to recite that to and motivate them with that piece called The Seedling.
I have taught many youngsters how to make this flower and how to recite that poem.
Yeah.
I changed it at the end. I think I had to add the child, woman, or man. I added the whole community instead of just one person or
Well,
something.
that's what you have to do.
That's what we got to do. We got to do what we got to do.
I want to thank you for coming, Mitch Capel.
Thanks for
Everybody,
having me, Oni.
give him some love. We're videotaping this, and we're going to put it on our YouTube channel so you can review and see Mitch again. So I'm going to say thank you.
It's an honor. Yes. Thank you.
Keep plugging away.
Yes.
Keep plugging away. I'm going to stop.